Here I have a 1965 Grundig Majestic radio model 2220. As you can see, the cabinet is busted all up. It's just in very poor condition. It's Bakelite. There's 3 big chunks of it. Here's a piece of it down here. On the bottom, it fell out right here. Broke off. The back end of it, once these 2 screws will be removed, this whole thing will be another chunk. It's actually broken on the leg all the way onto the side, so that's 2. Again, there's some shavings and pieces of the Bakelite, loosely. I attempted to put this just back in place. It's laying up there, but it's going to take a lot of work to repair that. This is the right side of the radio. It's cracked all the way up. Terrible shape. Yeah, here it is again. You can see it's cracked all the way up to right in here. And that's another piece. Once this plywood with the grill cloth on it comes off, this will come off too. There's nothing holding it except for this plywood and a little notch right there. So that'll be the 3rd piece. There's the Grundig Majestic label. You can see how discombobulated it is, bent all out of shape. Hopefully I can get that repaired. Probably not look perfect, but it's in really terrible shape. Right here you can see even the inside of it. Naturally you can see the electrolytic can capacitor in there. Here's a capacitor here. This is what my friend in Australia would call a turd capacitor. But I think it's a good name for it. I gotta say, the guy, I'm not really familiar with foreign radios, but I want to get into them, and that's why I purchased this one. And so what I want to do is I want to naturally get the radio out of the broken Bakelite cabinet and get it to working first. Then let's get it working. I'll restore it completely electrically. Then I'm up against this Bakelite cabinet, repairing that. I got an idea where I can use, I have some, I think it's a Loctite super glue, and it's really strong. I'm convinced that it will hold it, but say, like look at that picture right there. Once it gets back, this will go back tighter once I get it back into place, but unfortunately you're still going to see the crack. There's no way. When Bakelite breaks, it kind of crumbles also. So I don't have a clue how I can hide those cracks. If anybody has any idea other than Bondo, but I hate using Bondo if you have to sand it down. I'm not familiar with Bondo. Never ever had to repair a cabinet or case like this ever, and so I'm don't have a clue on what to do. So if you have an idea what I can use, if I have to use Bondo, fine. But if there's another product out there that I can fill this crack up, once I fill it up, I can tape off any of the areas, and I have an airbrush. I could airbrush it, I don't know, egg white or beige or whatever the color may match up to be. I don't know. Model 2220, 1965. So again, like I say, I'm going to take it out of its busted up Bakelite cabinet and repair the radio, restore the radio electrically, and then proceed to repair this cabinet. So I appreciate it. If anybody has any idea what I can use, once this will be tighter, but you'll see the crack on all three chunks. I don't care about the bottom if I have to use Bondo, because you're not really going to see that. I can use it on the outside and the inside, you know. But the front, I don't know about Bondo because you have to sand it, and I don't know. So anything, you know, any suggestions of what I could use to hide those cracks? And again, then I could airbrush it. Once I get it electrically restored and get this cabinet back into one piece to accept the chassis. So let me know if you have any idea what else I could do. Leave a comment, I appreciate it. But I'm going to go ahead and get it out of its the chassis out of it and put the pieces aside and make my repairs and restorations and glue it back together and see where I go from there. I'll keep you updated on my progress. Okay, this is the Grundig model 2220 or 0 that I got out of the busted up cabinet. I got it running, and the problem was this resistor here, and I replaced the cap while I was in there. Let's see what I did. Right here they are. It's supposed to be a 1.3K. See if I can get that focused in there. 1.3K ohms at 2%, a 4-watt resistor. Well, I was reading 1 meg, north of 1 meg. So I clipped one in naturally, and still north of 1 meg. And this is the audio output transformer. And it seemed like it acted like a capacitor because it went from 1 meg, north of 1 meg, and then it kept climbing higher and higher and higher like it was a capacitor or something, but it's a resistor, so I replaced that. Then I changed this cap here. You can see that it needed it right here with this one. And this one here is a 22 or 222K or 22K, I forgot. That was perfect. It's strange about these coils are spring coils are on for the speakers and the electrostatic speaker right here. But you'll know, you probably can't see it, but under the bottom of the chassis, all these type of capacitors, they got a little hole in them. They're designed that way. I don't know what the idea was behind that. Maybe let off heat. I don't have a clue. But that was the problem why I didn't have any type of humming or any kind of chatter or anything. Nothing. It was just completely dead. It's because of this resistor from this output transformer. And I replaced the cap on that one since I was in that neighborhood, and then that one was good. So I got it running. Now to restore it. So just a fast update. This AM antenna, the ferrite, this one right here is all unraveled. It had little rubber straps around this. I don't know if you can see that. Shit. Anyway. So I wound it back. It's, I think, very good. I mean, it ain't perfect, but it's not overlapping. And then I found out that this part was open that meets these two coils together. So I got in there and soldered that. You can see they had tape over that. But then I used some zip ties to secure it. So I fixed that too. It was running somewhat, and it was setting up whatever on the back here. Then it fell right down on here. Then it just kind of, everything went out. I don't know why that would happen, but I was still getting too much of B plus voltage. So what I found, first of all, besides these three electrolytics, there's another one in here. See if I can get this here down in there. Maybe it'll help a little bit. Maybe it'll make it worse. I don't know. You can turn it away from blinding you. Let me zoom up a little bit. See right in here. This one right here. This little orange guy. That's one of the electrolytics that I did change. It's supposed to be a 50 microfarad at 15 volts. This is the one that came out of it. 6 microfarad. And let me see. That went to the output tube. Let me see if there it is. Yeah, the output tube. It went to another resistor, which is 170 ohms, and I was reading like 0.2 of an ohm on it. So those two, besides 13 other capacitors that you can see that I replaced. But anyway, here's the 50 ohm that I replaced. And back in here, really you should have a close-up. hope you can see that, but you see this little black one here? It's a tubular capacitor replaced. It was supposed to be 4 microfarad. I think it was okay. That was this one, I believe. 5 microfarad. But what's strange was this radio is Grundig, the way they built things. You can't see it, but this positive end is on the output tube, and the negative end, and the positive end is on the chassis. And that's the way it shows it in the print. And both that 50 microfarad and the 170 ohm capacitor goes to the cathode, and let me see, it would be control grid, screen, suppressor. So it would be the suppressor grid and the cathode. Yeah. That's where that 50 microfarad and that 170 ohm resistor. I didn't have a 170. See if you can see that. I had to put, and it said 2%, I think. Yeah, 2%. Well, I put 150 and a 20 at 1%. At 1%, and I got that. Plus various other capacitors that I changed in there. It's hard to really work on these things. Like this one right here, I think. I'm reading way up here in the meg ohms. It's supposed to read 15K, so I cut it because I'm reading 0.2 of an ohm. After I cut it, I was getting my 15K ohm, so it's really kind of hard to measure resistance. These two, one here and one up here, if you can see it. I'm going to break out just a little bit. This one here, because I have can here and I have can here. Both of them's got 4 transformers in each one of them. And that ain't even including the, let me see, the alignments, which I won't touch. I did change the 2 in here. I didn't want to get in this area because there's too many fine little hair wires. In fact, this claw here came out. Luckily, I didn't break any wires, and I was able to push it back in and throw some glue in it. But I did change those 2 inside that box, and then all of the remaining film capacitors. So now my problem is this. It ain't. It's not the. It is the rectifier causing it, but the other one did too. The other selenium rectifier, I don't know what I did with it. So I replaced it with this one. But the trouble is, even before that though, I was getting 100. I'm supposed to be getting 200. What the heck is it now? I'll get back down to the that stage. Yeah, I'm supposed to be getting 285 volts out of there, and I'm getting like 3. I forgot what it was. 3 something something. I guess that's okay. Make it comfortable. Yeah, I can see. Piano?
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello, who is this?
This,
Hello?
down a little bit.
That's funny. There was no... Bill, how'd you get here? What happened?
You can see for yourself.
You killed him.
Bill! Nobody followed me. He's right behind me. I can't help that.
Come on, open up.
You can tell the difference in the bass.
Come in. The door's open.
Where? What happened here?
I don't know. I walked in and found them like that. Lovers quarrel, I
That
guess.
sounds
Bill, what
better
are you
there.
saying?
So this is where he's been hiding out.
No, no.
Both
You better
down.
take her in, Inspector. Come along, Miss Jefferson.
Now the treble. God, I can hear the difference. Oh, there, yeah, there. I
Here we
can.
are, miss. Don't fret now, it's no use. Try to get a good
Yeah.
night's sleep.
Okay, it's working.
Can I call a lawyer?
Sure you can. You want me to get in touch with someone for you? Who do you want me to call?
Oh yeah.
Well,
All right, it's working. I had too much bass where I couldn't hear it.
Oh, the time.
That sounds good on FM.
October 28th.
And I don't even have an antenna hooked up to
At
it.
least they will let me write.
Broadcast I can try later.
I've been such a
I'm pretty sure it's going to work.
They are Stefan's agents, Bill Fokker and Hugh King. And I
Transformer.
walked into the trap.
It's
They
cold.
must have followed me. Seen me
I mean,
locate Lance. Perhaps even heard what we said.
lukewarm.
Now Lance is dead.
Oh,
Police believe
I touched
I
this
killed
wire.
him. And they will swear to it with all the power of money.
Wire
Even foreign
thing.
governments behind them. But worst of all, they must
Dial
know who I
cord.
am.
And
They
the
must
spring
know
in
where
the
the
middle.
third piece of the cross-eyed bear's
Pretty
cheek
weird
is.
stuff. This
And that is why I... Dean...
tuning eye works good.
The Zan.
Works perfect.
Here she is, Mr. Fokker. Bill!
Lizanne, I'm so sorry. I couldn't come to you sooner. It was a matter
Now
of your
I've lost
life
my
and mine, too.
voltage on my meter.
Didn't you see through
Probably
it?
timed
Oh,
out.
you poor child, I've been so blind. But it's all right
Yeah,
now, we're safe.
278 on FM. I'm
Come on,
going
I'll
to leave
tell you
that.
about it
Try
on the way.
FM
Everything's in order, isn't it, Mitch?
281. Whatever that is.
You? Didn't you see him standing
I'll find a
there?
happy medium.
King, Hugh King. Don't you see it now?
Is he?
Of
10
course,
watt
he's been
resistor
Stefan's
to
man
put
all
in
the
there.
time. Watching me,
Control that B
protecting me,
plus.
waiting for me, for us to lead him to the
I
answer
knew it
and
was
then
going to
strike.
have a drop-in resistor anytime you change those rectifiers, but it was that way before when I got it with
Get
this
out, right to the courtyard.
silly
You see now why I had to do
selenium
it?
one.
I didn't actually see him
I
kill
took it
Lance,
apart and
but a
took all the
second
guts
later.
out of it to see how it was
If I'd
designed,
accused him, he'd have
since it
denied
wasn't a
it.
fin
They
style.
wouldn't have arrested him for a few hours
It
at least.
had
And in those few hours,
4
with the
rows
power of
of
Stefan behind him,
metal
it would have been you and I next to him.
slugs,
But why did
square
you have
metal
me sent to
slugs.
jail?
To make him think I believed him. But chiefly because I knew you'd be safe.
So there was before on the
Not
top,
only
4
am I
on the
you
bottom.
safe, could I do
So I would think there would be
What I
around
had to
16
do.
or 18 of them in there, and some of them
You
had
won't
looked
trouble
like
us again, Lizanne. It's finished.
I
At
don't
last.
know, like a
I can still hardly believe it.
mica film to it or
Oh,
something.
you know, horror.
Then it was
I
covered
know,
in
my poor
plastic and
child.
shoved in here.
Come along, I'm going to take you home.
If it don't work,
Taxi,
I don't know see how things
Lizanne,
work.
you
And
should
what I
have told
gained
me
from
who
it.
you were.
Oh, well, then they had jumpers across each one of them. 4 jumpers. So how it worked, I don't know. I have no clue how this. I mean, I know how a bridge rectifier works. It works
Just relax for a
just
while.
like the same one you see with the
Like a drink?
No, thanks.
on the
You don't mind if I
diagram.
do?
Of course not.
Okay,
As a matter
so
of fact, there are still a few things I haven't
I'm
told
really
you
happy
about
with this
little
FM.
business of the cross-eyed bear.
at AM. Okay, I've got this all glued back up with that super glue, Loctite super glue. It's a good thing I took this plywood board off in the grill cloth, because this piece here, actually was the 3rd chunk. This one, and the bottom back here. So if I didn't take this off, I would have never got some glue back in there. Because that big chunk came right out. It's pretty solid. I know people use Bondo, but I don't have any. I don't know the shelf life of it, whether I'd use it or not. But nevertheless, I glued the crap out of it every place that I could. I gotta make up a rubber grommet for here. It had a copper piece that goes on there to the chassis, but I don't get that. I mean, the bolts going in there to the chassis, and this is just Bakelite, so it's not important, in my opinion. Was a screw missing on this board? It was stripped out, so what I do a lot of times, I'll take a piece of a wire tie, you know, stick it in there, and I'll put the screw in there, and it'll tighten up, and then I'll cut the excess wire tie off. So gotta do a little bit more taping on my right here. You can see that. A little bit more taping on that antenna, keep it held down. But yeah, this whole piece here is broken off. I'm sorry, the bottom part right here. There's some pieces missing, but I did put some on it. Here's this big piece of chunk that I put on there after I glued that back on, and one right here that kind of shows the front, and a couple other spots inside. Here's what I got left, and I can't figure out where they go, and most of it's just dust. I'll throw it out. Hope you can see that in my hand there. That's all little pieces of that Bakelite. This is about the biggest piece left, and I don't know where it goes. And the rest is just, I don't know. I used about 4 big chunks of it. I found the spot, even one right in here. Now, as far as cosmetics, only thing I could think of, and I don't know, because you can still see the cracks, even though it's solid. Now, will it handle a 15-pound? At least probably 15-pound chassis. I think it will. I'll look into some Bondo for the bottom if I have to. But otherwise, now it's all solid, one piece that super glue dries, you know, within seconds, but it takes 10 minutes to handle, and it says 24 hours to cure, and it hasn't been 24 hours yet. And I put the board back on, speaker board. So, hey, it's one piece now, not 3 pieces, and so it'll handle it.
Although about a baby pink spot.
Okay, I got this
See you later, Johnny.
Okay.
back in its case.
Hi, Stingle.
Good evening.
I couldn't put the back on because I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, by the way, before I forget, Johnny, here's your remittance for the week.
Oh.
Bare wires on both.
Congratulations, old boy. I'm afraid I must tell you that we're not too satisfied.
That's
with
the-
the work.
Well, maybe I'm not too satisfied with
It's got to be replaced, this plug. I got one. I hate to have to use it, and I have to find some more because these are special plugs.
Oh, keep your pants on.
They got the flat ends.
And look here, old boy.
A few different type.
Is report their names.
They got the polarizer with the bigger one,
They're saving
the
time.
bigger end on the one, the hole on the other one. Then they got
Only
the
to find out those things, a guy has to ask
these are
questions.
the ones that's got the flat end, and they got the ones that's perfectly round.
Reading too many spices.
I have one more like this,
After
but
all, even if there's a war, some of us are still in business. And when you're in business, sometimes it helps to know when your competitors are shipping their goods.
but as you can see,
okay. The guy likes to know working for, that's all.
About Miss Lorna. I didn't know you were a particular friend of hers, Johnny.
Not particular, just friends.
She took Jackie's place, huh?
Yeah. And there's a couple of
I got
questions
it
that
at,
nobody has ever answered about that either.
I suppose there are. Too
this is
bad.
FM.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather like to have a talk
Set
to
at
this
100.
thing.
I installed a chassis mount dropping resistor. It was 200 ohm, 20 watts. just because I was getting 350 volts B plus voltage, and it should be 285 for the schematic. So actually it's a little bit lower now than 285. So I could have gotten away with 190 or 180 ohm resistor, but hey, it works great. All right, well, that is it. Back is on. I don't have that antenna on, but that goes in just like so. Internal antenna. And there's my cord that I put on. Let me go down a little bit with the camera, maybe.
I'm grateful to you for having brought me this far.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Not that way, I don't think. Sure, I should.
You never know what these things are going to be.
Well, I guess I can't. But you can see it. It's riveted on there. And the cord is sideways at 90 degrees now. It's not just sticking straight out. There's supposed to be a cover here for this fuse back in here, a little plastic cap, but that didn't come with it, and I'm missing 2 of the back screws. Other than that, and unfortunately you can see through this cloth. It's a little too thin for my liking.
Then stay there, out of sight.
Now, if you're sure.
Thank you once again.
I got some from the front grill on another radio, and I'll tell you what,
Good night.
I think I'm going to double up on it. Because this stuff was heavy. The stuff I peeled off of this board
Then I walked ahead.
for the other Grundig.
It was farther to the shelter than I thought.
Yeah, it was glued in on this side, and it was, I mean, really thick material.
I could hear a door slam.
So I might have to double up on it.
Then the car turned around and
I
came back past me. I suppose
This one stays, it looks good.
For a moment,
Alright,
pitch blackness. Then I saw the shelter.
hope you enjoyed this repair,
Dark mountain of trees
and
the light was out. Still
thanks for
the
watching.
inviting, awaiting